Hey everyone, long time no see. Hope you are all healthy and well, and maybe actually well rested for once in your life. Um, so we're ready to embark on this whole new unit on magnetism, but obviously there's going to be some changes in terms of the format of how we're doing that. So before we dive into this new unit, I just want to walk you through a little bit about kind of the system that I am envisioning for how this distance learning process is going to look. And obviously I am all ears, always open to feedback, thoughts, questions, etc. as we try to work this whole thing out and go on this adventure together. Okay, so a few questions that have come up that I want to address to just get us started. So how are we doing this? So I'm hoping to still keep the same general structure of how we've been doing things. And at this point, you may have noticed sort of a pattern in terms of how we go about learning each new topic. We start with some sort of investigation, a lab, a simulation, something where you get to explore it a little bit. Then we throw in a little lecture, some notes, just to kind of formalize and organize all of our information about it. And then we get some practice questions, practice problems. And then there's a project that kind of ties everything together. I'm hoping we can still keep doing that moving forward because I like that formula, as you may have gathered. So we'll continue to do investigations online using simulations. You can turn them in through Google Classroom. We've already done the whole Edpuzzle video lecture thing, so we'll keep running with that and going with that format to disseminate new information, and then practice will be done online via Google Classroom as well. So just taking the same sort of things but shifting it into a digital format for it. So some of you this morning were just like chomping at the bit, ready to go. Where's the lesson? How do I dive in? So everything will be posted on Google Classroom for you. I'll put everything for each day under a single assignment so that you can see everything that's expected of you for that day. I'll make sure that that's posted by the start of your block. Maybe it'll be sooner, given people's enthusiasm to dive in this morning. Maybe I'll just post everything early, and then that way you can kind of jump in whenever you feel ready to. I'll keep updating the agenda slides so you get that big picture overview of what it is that we're doing each day. And then on both Google Classroom, each day's post, and the agenda slides, I've also linked a new document that I've put together with just kind of more detailed information about the day's agendas. And so I've switched over to that here right now, where you can see for each day, and whether it's a blue or gold day, what all the tasks are that I'm expecting you to do, any links along there as well, detailed instructions, notes, commentary, whatever I feel like throwing on there. And then over here on the right, all the expectations of what exactly it is that you need to submit to demonstrate that you have engaged in that day's lesson. Right? So those are some of the things there for you to identify what the expectations are, even though I'm not there to like physically watch you do all of these things. Okay. Obviously this is a shift because previously there was a set starting time for class and you had to be there at that time. That gets a little bit harder with distance learning. And so at least until spring break, we're going with what's called an asynchronous model, where basically you can engage in the day's lesson at a time that works for you. So I'll make sure to post all the material by the start of your block. So if you want to kind of keep up with the same rhythm of one particular block, that's your physics time, and you work on physics during that time frame, that totally works. But if you would rather be working on your physics in the middle of the night or in the afternoon or at 4 in the morning, like I don't know, whenever you do your best physics work, that's going to be fine here. You'll get until the next day, like the next class session, to turn those things in. So basically that's typically 48 hours from when they're assigned. So you can kind of figure out, based on how your schedule's playing out, how all your other teachers are doing things, and your own natural rhythms of energy and stuff, how you want to do this. All right. If you have questions, obviously you can email me anytime. I will respond as soon as I possibly can, but I will also be holding office hours every day, Monday through Friday, via Zoom from 1:30 to 2:30. So there are links on the detailed agendas and on these slides as well, so you can find me and ask me questions or just come say hi, whatever you would like to do. Right? I've gotten a lot of questions about tests since obviously my Gold Day students didn't get to take the test that they were supposed to, as well as about test retakes. And my answer to all of those questions is I don't know. I don't know yet how that is going to work. Crossing my fingers that we will be back in school sooner rather than later, and that I can just kind of like ignore the problem until it fixes itself. But we'll see. I have been researching like crazy. I know other people at school are researching like crazy, so we'll figure out something. I do still want you to have the opportunity to do test retakes and all of that. So I will keep you updated on all of that. Since everything is happening digitally, your parents are sort of the front line at this point, your parents and other family members, for just kind of monitoring your schoolwork and all of that. So if they would like access to Google Classroom, there is a link on these slides, if you open them from Google Classroom, that will allow them to fill out a form, and I can give them access so that they can see everything that you're supposed to be doing. You should tell them about that and see if they actually want to do it. Don't just hide that information from them. Okay? Okay, cool. All right. For grading. So previously I know that anytime we had practice assigned as homework, that it was optional. That's not really going to be able to continue as a policy while we're doing this whole distance learning, because I can't really be monitoring your progress the same way that I normally can. Tests are like a huge mystery still at this point, so I don't know if I'll be able to put in test scores. So at this point, everything is for a grade, all right? It's all expected. It's all mandatory. It will all go in the work habit section of the grade book. So just a heads up that, yeah, you should do the things that I am suggesting that you do. The last thing that I just kind of want to mention is I am still here for you, and I still love you and care about you, even though I am like in this little cocoon of my house and you are in your little cocoon as well. I am always here for you to address whatever issues may arise. And I especially want to be explicit about that because I know for many of you, this probably feels like some crazy, like weird, surreal vacation, but it's like, woohoo, I don't have to go to school, I can sleep in, whatever, and like, I am so happy for you. Like, you do that, you relish this, like, enjoy. Okay? But I also recognize that there are some people where home is not necessarily the happiest or most comfortable place. So just a reminder that as we continue to embark on this quarantine and things get more stressful, if at any time you're not feeling safe, you know that your teachers are here for you, your counselors are here for you. Like, we want to make sure that you're getting through all of this as healthy, both physically and emotionally, as possible. So just a reminder that even though like I'm not there in person, I'm still there in spirit to be there for you. Okay, so cool. That's the general picture. If you have feedback or questions, obviously, please let me know. I am just trying to figure this whole thing out with you. Okay? So with all of that, then, on to the next unit, okay? So we just finished up electricity and circuits and all of that. And so now we are jumping into a study of magnetism. And as it turns out, we're going to see that magnetism is like really closely interconnected with electricity. We're going to see how we can use electricity to create magnets and how we can use magnets to create electricity. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be great. A couple things that you should know about this unit. Number one, this is the one unit where this is true. There's no math. Nothing. Like legit. No math. No equations. No numbers. It's all conceptual, all qualitative. Which some of you are excited about and some of you are horrified by. And either way, that's how it's going to be and that's how we've always done it. So it's a little shift in how we're doing things there. So no math. And the reason that we don't have math in this unit is because it's more focusing on spatial understanding. Because in order to understand magnetism, you really have to be able to think in 3 dimensions. Previously, we've kind of mainly dealt with 1 dimension, occasionally 2 dimensions. But this unit, 3 dimensions. And you're going to need your right hand for that. But I keep checking and no one's lost their right hand yet. So, you know, we're good. We got this. All right. So then for the project, how we're going to contextualize all of this, I've posted an entry doc for you. Do you remember way back in the beginning of the year when we had our Save Our Seals project and we had to like save these 5 seals that were behind enemy lines who needed to come back? Yeah. So they're still doing their thing. And it turns out on the most recent mission, Seal 5, the one who jumped from the bridge, yeah, Seal 5 didn't make it back. It is a horrible tragedy. So we're working on trying to locate her, and I'm sure there will be a happy ending there, and everything is good. But we're trying to continue to unpack what happened and try to make sure this doesn't happen again, and improve communication to try to find that seal. And as it turns out, Seal 5 was an equipment specialist who was working on this particular device. And no one really knows what exactly the deal was with that device, but we happened to locate in her files some information about that device. So that's all shared with you in the project entry document. And so you can look over that, and I have up here for you this construction guide for this mysterious device that Seal 5 was working on. So we're going to play with this. Now, normally I would have you build this device, but I can't really like give you the stuff to do that through the screen. So I've just gone ahead and taken the liberty of trying to build it for you. Okay, so there are a few different materials that are involved in this. So we've got some red magnetic wire right here. And so the red is just sort of the coating, this enamel coating on the outside. And then on the inside, we have copper wire here. And so in the instructions, we were supposed to take a small piece of just like a drinking straw, just a regular plastic straw here. I know they're taboo, whatever, too bad. All right. So we took a small piece of a drinking straw. We wrapped this magnet wire around it a whole bunch of times to make this coil. And then we used some sandpaper to scrape off that enamel insulation from both of the sides of the coil that are sticking out right there. And then this, I just used a hot glue gun, as it said in the directions, to just attach the straw to an ordinary plastic cup. All right, so that's a thing. And then the last part of the direction says to take a nail, nail, right there, and stick a little neodymium magnet on the end of it, and then just pop that in there. And that's the end of the directions. So, interesting. So that was sort of a dead end for a little bit until we discovered that in the materials that we had recovered for Seal 5, there were also a bunch of these in there, which is just an auxiliary cord that has the wires made available right there that have been stripped a little bit. So, you know, I happen to have a few alligator clips from our last unit. So I was like, oh, what the heck? There are two wires here. And there are two open wires here. So now, by doing that, I've made something that looks kind of like a speaker, as it turns out. And this is totally underwhelming, I know, because you can't actually experience this. But if I plug this into my computer and I play music and I put the speaker up like here to my ear, I can hear things. Weird. All right. So so our goal during this unit is going to be to figure out how the heck this thing works, why it failed and caused our poor Seal 5 to not make it back successfully, and to figure out how we could make this better so that this kind of snafu never happens again. All right, so that's our goal for this unit, is to figure out how this device is working, how it's possible that we just made a speaker out of like a straw and a nail and a magnet and a cup, and improve it. Be engineers, make it awesome. All right. So we'll be engaging with that. So for the rest of today, then you're going to complete a little form for me, just kind of giving me some thoughts about like, what is going on? Like, how does this thing work? What's going on there? And then starting to do a little investigation into kind of magnets and what's going on and why we needed a magnet and what the deal is with those. All right. So I'm going to leave you with that. I love you. I miss you. If you have any questions, please, please, please let me know. Good luck with everything, folks. Stay healthy and take care.